Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar, Mind-Body Approaches to Pain, featuring a guided deep meditation. I'm your host, Alina Zlanian, Director of Programs at SAA. So SAA is a nonprofit organization focused on meeting the needs of our spondylitis community. We are committed to research, support, education, and advocacy, and we couldn't do any of it without the support of our members and donors. So a big thank you to all of you for making today's program possible and for your ongoing support. And without any further ado, allow me to introduce Nancy O'Brien, certified yoga therapist specializing in pain and chronic health conditions. Nancy works to bring mind-body practices to people living with pain and chronic health challenges through classes, workshops, presentations, webinars such as these, and social networking. Nancy is certified by the International Association of Yoga Therapists and associated with New York's HSS, Yoga for Arthritis, and Integral Yoga Institute. Welcome, Nancy, and thank you so much for lending us your time and expertise today.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Celine.
Thank you, Nancy.
So interesting to see that a good portion of you have tried yoga and meditating before. And for those of you who are new to it, you'll have a good taste of it today to get an idea and have some practices that you can try out after this. Also interesting to see how many people are interrupted in their sleep by pain, and we'll be addressing some of those issues today too. I always am happy to be with you. And yet I also understand that what brings us together here is pain. And so on the handout that you'll have access to, you don't need it during the presentation, but you'll be able to look back afterwards and be able to take a look at it, and you'll have some of the things that you really want to be able to use. At the beginning, it says, "The path will wait while you take the stone from your shoe." And there's a website, marycookma.com, from a woman who has lived with pain and writes about it. And I just want to share some of her words about pain. Pain can elicit our undivided attention. It can humble us and inspire us. It can increase our empathy and unity with others. It can give us gratitude. Pain allows us to see light and promise in the darkness and despair. Accepting pain allows laughter to interrupt stress, or a loving smile to interrupt physical pain, sometimes. And so the underlying heart of what we'll be talking about today is having compassion for ourselves, because you certainly deserve it, living with this difficult spondylitis or another inflammatory arthritis or whatever condition that you live with that gives you this pain. And so today we'll be learning some tools and some practices that can allow us to have a more active relationship with the pain. Perhaps you've already gotten some practices. Of course, everybody's always saying try relaxation and meditation, but today we'll try them out, and perhaps you'll find something that resonates with you that you can use to your benefit in the future. So compassion, listening to your body and supporting its efforts to find ease, is underlying all of the practices that we'll be doing today. It's easy to be compassionate for somebody else, not so easy sometimes to be compassionate for ourselves. And so these practices allow us to practice compassion for ourselves, starting with something as simple as the breath, calming breathing practices. And so let's just take a moment right now just to take a nice deep breath. Expand the belly, the lower ribs and upper chest, breathing through your nose if that's comfortable, or your mouth if necessary. And exhaling, bring your upper ribs in like an accordion, bring your lower ribs in, almost like you're getting punched in the solar plexus, and then bring the belly in like you're doing a sit-up, so that that breath is very dynamic and sends a powerful signal to the brain that you can de-stress a little bit, which sometimes helps calm down the pain a little. So nice, deep 3-part breath, belly, lower ribs, upper chest. And exhale, upper ribs come in. Find those muscles if you can, as long as it doesn't cause or aggravate any pain. Lower ribs, belly to the spine. So we'll be using that 3-part breath throughout the practice. Meditation, mini meditations, we'll sample some of those. One in particular form of a meditation, loving kindness. Maybe you've heard of it. We'll do a little of that. Safe, supported movement. When we talk about doing yoga with this condition, what's really important is that you are doing it with experienced teachers and not overdoing it. So support and safe are the key words when doing obviously any physical movement that you're able to do, and not ever pushing it, because the idea is to open up the body and allow it to feel more confident to function. Deep relaxation, we'll have that at the end. A practice of gratitude is really nice, especially to start your day, or when you wake up with pain in the middle of the night. Just having that practice of gratitude switches you over from the worry and the fear that pain bring to our lives, to at least having a sense of something that we're really grateful for, and that can change our state, our nervous system state a little bit. And guided imagery and visualization also, perhaps many of you have tried it, and we'll sample that today. So that's the compassion part, and the other part is support. You want to recognize that you are living with pain and with difficult challenges, and be compassionate for yourself, but also have a sense of acceptance, which is a really, really difficult thing, I know, to ask, but it allows everything to calm down a little bit more. Not that it's going to make it better or worse, but just a sense in your mind that you are able to have some acceptance with the truth, which is a yogic concept called satya, truth, that we do have this pain. And when we are able to accept it sometimes, then we're able to move a little bit more forward in being able to address it with compassionate awareness. Of course, getting support, being here today. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Groups like SAA, incredible support that they give and information. Health coaching is another support that's more and more available these days, even through insurance sometimes. And then strengthening and nourishing your own foundation, recognizing that support doesn't need to come from outside, but like practices like this can give you a sense of support. Mind-body practices, creative pursuits. So let's try one of these mind-body practices to begin with, called the breath of joy. Now you can choose, it doesn't have to be joy, it can be courage, it can be patience, but either way, what you want to do for this practice is to put your hands on your knees. I'm going to move the computer a little bit so you can see. My hands on my knees. And so you'll have to do without my face for a moment. So hands on your knees, if you're comfortable here. You could also do this lying down on your side, if that's more comfortable for you, or even standing with the wall support and a little bit of a squat. So hands on right above the knees, and then as long as it's comfortable, just slide them back, lift your heart, bring your shoulders and elbows together towards each other, and take a nice breath of joy in. Think of something very joyful or beautiful. And then as you exhale, slide the hands forward towards your knees, round the back as long as that's safe for you, and allow your shoulders and head to lower. And just relax here. Exhaling any negativity, any stress that you possibly can just let go of with the breath. Slide the hands back. Inhale joy. And shoulders and elbows towards each other, lifting your heart. And exhale, slide the hands forward, rounding the back, allowing your shoulders and head to lower. Let your head be very heavy. It's as heavy as a bowling ball. So as long as that's safe for you, allow your head to lower a little bit. It can bring some nice spaciousness into the back of the neck. But please be careful if you have any questions about whether or not this is safe for you. Just imagine that you're doing it, and you would check with your medical folks, your medical team, just to be sure that something like this is safe for your spine and your neck. One more time, if it's safe, slide the hands back, elbows and shoulders, heart rising. Breathe in joy. Exhale, slide forward. Exhale negativity. And relax. And then come on back to seated. So that's something that you can do when you're sitting at your desk, even watching TV, in a doctor's office, waiting for the MRI, whatever. Just a very simple breath of joy, mind-body practice. It also helps lubricate the spine a little bit, bring some spaciousness into the spine. Again, as long as it's safe for you, you want to be sure never to cause any harm to yourself, especially in a yoga practice. Another mind-body practice that might be helpful for you to incorporate into your day is to choose something that's very routine for you, like walking past a particular window. And every time you do that, just giving yourself a moment of compassion. Take that nice 3-part breath as you pass that window, just being present with yourself. And as you exhale, bring the ribs in, bring the lower ribs in, belly to the spine like a sit-up. That 3-part breath sends signals to the brain that allows us to switch over from chronic stress, which of course these conditions that we live with bring us. That helps the brain know it's okay to switch over to parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, digest, relax, revitalize. So try that. Choose a part of your routine. It can be walking down a hallway or going past a particular doorway. And every time you do it, stop. Take that breath, exhale, and just be present. Be present. That will halt that cycle of pain and stress and tension. Not necessarily halt it, but it'll interrupt it a little bit. And then loving kindness is another mind-body practice. It has, maybe some of you are familiar with it, but basically there are, say, 3 phrases. You can choose more, but you can make them up yourself. The ones that I've written on the handout are, may I have peace, may I have ease in my body, mind, and heart, and may I smile today. So the loving kindness practice starts with those phrases that you can create, or you can use these. You can change them all the time, whatever you need to support you and inspire you. And so you can direct them to yourself first, and then we direct them out into the world to a neutral person, or to family, or to friends, or to neighbors. So let's just try this a little bit. Get into your comfortable position. If you'd like to lay down, which is the most comfortable position for most of you in the survey, go right ahead if that's possible for you. Or stand or sit. And just close your eyes. Do that nice 3-part breath. And just listen. You can repeat these with me if you'd like. May I have peace? Exhale. Inhale. May I have ease in my body, mind, and heart. Exhale. Inhale. May I smile today. Exhale. Let's choose a neutral person in your life, someone like the person who sells flowers at the corner or something like that. Just imagine a person like that. May you have peace. Exhaling. May you have ease in your body, your mind, and your heart. Exhale. Inhale. May you smile today. Exhale. And then let's try one more category of people, to our friends and family. Inhale. May you have peace. Exhale. Inhale. May you have ease in your body, your mind, and your heart. Exhale. Inhale. May you smile today. Exhale. It's a very simple practice, but it opens up our heart to be able to have compassion for ourselves, because that's where we start. And then we open it up out to the other categories that we choose. So now we're going to talk about bed yoga. And I know that being in bed, having the pain in bed, trying to get out of bed, the difficulty in thinking you should get out of bed and you don't want to get out of bed. There's so many issues around the bed, and yet we can turn it constantly into a supportive space for us. And so bed yoga, whenever you wake up, even if it's in the middle of the night because of your pain, one of the first things to do is to try that practice of gratitude. Choose 3 things. You can change them, but it's nice to have like a ready 3 choices that you feel grateful for. And as you breathe in and out, as you bring your compassionate awareness to your breath, just summon up those 3 things. Let's do it right now. So breathe in and allow yourself to feel gratitude just for being here today, perhaps. And exhale. And with that exhalation, let that breath kind of spread through you like a breeze. And then a second thing that you're grateful for, choose it today. Inhale and exhale. I know it can be hard, especially when you're living with pain and you feel desperate and sometimes and isolated and misunderstood. It's very hard to kind of think of something to be grateful for. But let's think of something as simple as this chair, this bed, this day. Inhaling, feeling grateful, feel it fill your heart, and exhale. Feel that breeze of your exhalation carrying that gratitude throughout your body. And then one more thing. Inhaling and exhaling. So this is a good thing to do when you first wake up. And when you do first wake up, it's nice, even if it's in the middle of the night, even if it's in difficult circumstances, even if you're upset that you're not going to be able to sleep or that you haven't been able to sleep, transforming that experience from stressful, like block the clock, definitely, but from a stressful situation into one in which you're going to use this time that you're awake to support yourself and to nurture yourself. So you can make space, take full breaths, open your heart, and whatever that dawning awareness brings, whether it's pain or worry or a sense of being rested or thoughts of the day, allow the breath to welcome and accept all of this with compassion and acceptance. And then while you're in bed, you can begin like a little body scan. You can wiggle your toes if that's comfortable. You could circle your ankles. You can move your legs, fingers, only if it's comfortable. Maybe one hand hurts and the other hand doesn't. So you just want to like move what can be moved just to stimulate your circulation, get things moving up into the shoulders with the support of the bed and the head. And then if you wanted to, you could do some restorative yoga poses in the bed. For instance, a pillow twist. So you would just bend your knees a little bit and lower them over to one side on the bed, but support them where they need to be supported with pillows or rolled up blankets or towels so that you're not having them stress anything. You want them to feel like they're in a hammock. And then look away from those knees if possible, and allow your arms to go out in a T, and just breathe. Sometimes I just fall asleep in that position, in that little bit of a twist, which brings openness and spaciousness into the spine, as long as you're not aggravating your condition. Support yourself. Maybe the arm is supported also on pillows or blankets and your head. And then whenever you want to, bring the knees back to center, and turn the knees toward the other side in the bed. Look away from the knees. Open up your arms if possible. If not, you just put them where it's comfortable. The idea is to have a supported twist, which is very revitalizing for those areas of the spine and the muscles that may stiffened up and be tight. So that's one yoga pose for bed. And the other is a mountain pose. A mountain pose in yoga is one of the foundational poses. And so if you can do it either laying down, or if you want to sit up. But the idea is to really activate your feet and feel that you're rooting down through the feet. Sometimes you would be able to maybe put a pillow or something against your feet, unless you're seated and your feet are on the floor, so that you've got some grounding through the feet. And then you just want to feel a lift through your legs, like you can lift up your arch, lift up your kneecap, and then raise and circle the shoulders if that's possible. In bed, it's sometimes nice just to move the shoulders up and down. And then you can just move your head a little bit, only if that's safe for you, and just lubricate that spine and head a little bit. And then from the waist down, feel heavy, like the mountain below ground. And from the waist up, effortlessly rising, whether you're laying down, seated, or standing. And then take a couple of breaths, imagining you are a mountain, strong and powerful and majestic and very present and still. And have a couple of mountain breaths. In bed, exhaling, either seated or lying down. And then if you want to use this mountain pose as a vehicle to kind of help you get out of bed, then you could start by being seated on the bed, and then, if you can, rise from the bed into a standing mountain position. So all of these are in the handout. And there are other positions that you can do in bed, and there are other resources also. You can Google bed yoga. You just want to be sure that you're not doing anything that would aggravate or harm your condition, which is very possible. That's why it's important to have an experienced yoga teacher, yoga therapist, yoga for arthritis teacher, who understands that this is not about like gym yoga. This is about supporting you in being able to live with the pain and the challenges that you have with the conditions that you experience with spondylitis or other conditions that bring us such challenges. So we kind of quickly went through several things. I live with chronic pain myself and have for 10 years, and feel very blessed that I've been able to have access to these teachings. And let me tell you that the ones that I'm sharing with you today are the ones that are the most effective, at least for me. And I'm finding that the research that's being done, the evidence that's being accumulated about these practices, allows us to at least have a way to deal with the pain that is a little broader, perhaps, than some of the experience that you have now. So, Aline, I think we'll go ahead and move into the deep relaxation, and that will give us a nice amount of time. This is a guided deep relaxation. In yoga, it's called Yoga Nidra. And more there are Yoga Nidra deep relaxation practices available on the internet or in other sources. And what they say about deep relaxation, this ancient practice, which is called the yogic sleep, is that 20 minutes of deep relaxation is the equivalent of an hour or so. I mean, sometimes they even say 3 hours of sleep. But what we're doing is using the body's signals to de-stress in a 5-layer process. After today, you'll be able to access my deep relaxation that they have recorded and put on the Hospital for Special Surgery website. You'll be able to just Google my name, Nancy O'Brien, and meditation, and it'll pop right up. It's a YouTube video that you would be able to use after this. Others, though, and you can look at them through some of the more credible websites, for instance, Mayo, SAA, I'm sure they'll have access to this one. But the Arthritis Foundation, people like this do now have this very valuable practice. And what it does is it allows you to get out of your own way just for a bit. And so let's go ahead and start it, because more time we're able to devote to deep relaxation with around the idea of pain, the more effective it can be. And then we'll open up to questions. So get in a very comfortable position. If you're seated, it's best if you're able to kind of support yourself so you can lean back. You may want to put a rolled up blanket behind your back or behind your neck. You may want to put your feet up on a chair or a stool. If you're able to lay down, go ahead and do that. Standing if you need to. However, through the course of the deep relaxation, you may find yourself wanting to sit or to lay down. Good. So everybody, let me give you a couple seconds to get into a very comfortable position. Really pamper yourself. If you can, roll something under your neck so that you feel really, really good, like you're in a spa, and the massage therapist is doing exactly what you need. Good. And we're going to start with focusing, with lifting up, if possible, or at least bringing some focus to the right leg. If it's possible, circle your ankle, move your knee around a little bit, and your hip. And then as you inhale, squeeze all the muscles gently toward the bone, and exhale. And relax that leg, move it around a little bit, and forget about it. Other leg now. Think about the toes, circle the ankle, the knee, the hip a little bit, not if it hurts. Just imagine that you're moving it if it hurts. And just like athletes visualizing their performance, the visualization has benefits in the brain if you're not able to actually do the movement. So circle the ankle on the left leg, the knee, the hip a little bit, and then inhale, squeeze all the muscles of the leg, make a fist with your foot if possible, and relax, exhale, move that leg around and forget about it. And then, if possible, just raise the arms up a little and circle the wrists, wiggle the fingers, elbows, shoulders. Again, if just one arm can do this, that's fine. And don't push it in terms of range of motion. Just a little bit of focus on that arm, in fact, will be sufficient. Good. And then squeeze all the muscles strong like Popeye, if that's safe for you. Exhale. I'm dating myself saying Popeye. I don't know if he's still around. All right, now buttocks, draw everything up. Inhale and exhale and roll the hips around a little bit. Forget about them. Deep breath into the belly. Sip in more air, hold it. And sigh. Ah. It's nice to put your hands on your throat when we're sighing so that you can feel that healing vibration, that stimulating vibration from the sigh move through your throat and your neck, even into your jaw and your shoulders. Sometimes sighing is just so delicious. And now breathe into the chest. Sip in more air, hold it. Open the mouth and sigh. Good. As long as there's no pain, shoulders up. Breathe in. You can lead with the elbows if possible. That helps to get the movement without as much strain. And down. Inhale up, back, and down. And then move the elbows into the most comfortable position for you. Supporting your arms if that helps, like put pillows or rest your arm on a dresser or a chair in bed, just pillows in your most comfortable position. Good. And then we're going to squeeze the face, cheeks, eyes, nose, mouth. Inhale, a silly prune face. So squeeze. Inhale, squeeze the face. Exhale, release. Good. And then for lion pose, think of something that you'd like to roar at. I'm sure there's plenty of things in your life that could use a roar. And lift the eyebrows, open the eyes, open the mouth, stick out the tongue, inhale and roar. Ah! Like a lion. Good. Notice how good that feels, perhaps, in the throat. And just move your head around and come to stillness. So this practice, we're moving, we're going to scan the body, but we're going to try to do the relaxing of any areas that feel pain, discomfort, tension. We're going to try to send a mental message, an intention to those areas to just release a little bit. Even the edges of the pain, sometimes they're around there protecting the source of injury, and sometimes the edges of the pain can just release a little bit. So as we scan the body, try to relax in stillness, like a pebble in a still pond first. And then if you still feel the need to move, go right ahead. So you're comfortable, you're relaxed as much as possible. You're feeling a little compassion for yourself. You're practicing compassion for yourself. And bring your focus to your toes. And relax the toes, even the space between the toes. This can be like a healing color, or feel like a breeze, or a wave of relaxation. Through the balls of the feet, the arches and heels. Tops and bottoms of the feet, relax. Ankles, relax. Shins and calves, feel that wave of relaxation as much as possible in stillness, penetrating all the cells, the space between the cells, up into the knees, all around the knees, up into the thighs, deep into the bones, relax, out to the large muscles of the legs, and even the skin relaxes. And just let the legs surrender, relaxing, feeling this peaceful energy, if possible, inside and even surrounding your legs. No boundaries, skin open. Let's move to the fingers now and relax the fingers, spaciousness in the fingers, in the joints, in the palms and backs of the hands and the wrists. Hands relax. relaxation up through the forearm, the elbows, the upper arms, deep into the shoulders. Completely relax. Sometimes they just drop down. Surrender the arms into the support that you've provided for them. Bring the focus now to the base of the spine and feel that relaxation gently rising, bringing spaciousness and ease as much as possible, compassion into the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, and neck. Allow the entire back as much as possible to feel like a stream of healing energy, penetrating all the nerves, the vertebra, the muscles. Allow that relaxation to radiate from the lower back around through the hips, the pelvis, the lower abdomen. Let that relaxation radiate from the middle back to the sides of the waist and to the front of the abdomen, and relax the abdominal organs where we hold most of our stress receptors in the linings of the abdominal organs. So send that powerful image of relaxation to the abdominal organs. And then from the upper back, imagine relaxation spreading through the ribs, to the side ribs, to the front chest, loosening the grip on the breastbone, allowing the heart and lungs to soften and open. Allow your heart to feel held and light. Collarbones broaden. Feel this relaxation now in the base of the throat, rising, front, back, and sides of the neck. Relax and open as much as possible into the jaw, back of the skull, back of the head, sides of the head, and deep into the ears. Relax. Eyes, nose, and mouth, relax. The top of the head is open, wisdom and inspiration. And allow this healing energy to gather between the eyebrows and then radiate across the brow, through the temples, through the brain. Let all expression melt off your face. Take a step back from the body now and see the body at rest. Bring your focus to the breath. Take a step back from the breath and just watch the gentle rise and fall the breath creates in the body effortlessly. Your mind may wander, bring it back to just watching from a little bit of a distance the breath. And then bring your focus to your mind. Take a step back from the mind and watch everything passing like clouds. Allow those clouds, even your breaths, the space between them to broaden and deepen, and then drop into that space, going deeper and deeper into your own sense of wholeness, even peace, and rest deeply here for the next few moments and enjoy it. very gently begin to bring your focus back to the breath. And just very, very gently begin to focus on expanding the belly a little bit, the lower ribs, the upper chest, feeling that openness. And as you exhale, upper ribs, draw them in, lower ribs, come in, using the muscles just a little bit, and then belly to the spine like a sit-up a little bit, just a little. Creating space for that next breath, 3-part breath. Exhaling all that does not serve you. One more 3-part breath, knowing that this breath, these tiny individual molecules of oxygen, perhaps are getting a little deeper into areas that may have been closed off before. If you've been able to join us in this deep relaxation, this yoga nidra. Bring your focus to any discomfort or pain you have as you come out of this. And as you exhale, bring your focus to an area of the body that may not be in pain right now. Inhabit this space with your next breath. Exhaling, accepting, having compassion for yourself that you live with this pain. And then on your next breath, switch over to an area of the body that is not in as much pain. Breathe into that experience, that texture, that area. Exhale. Good. Come on back to the room, to the webinar. So we've experienced some mind-body practices that will allow you to bring some compassionate awareness to this pain that brings us together here today. And I'm hoping that whether it's the practice of gratitude or bed yoga or a mountain pose, becoming a mountain, or loving kindness meditation, where we start with ourselves and open it up to other categories of beings in this world, that some of these have been able to connect with you and will in the future serve you. Thanks for having me, Elaine. So now I think we can move on to questions.
Thank you so much, Nancy. That was wonderful. I know I'm much more relaxed than I was earlier. Okay, so we're now moving into our Q&A session. Please go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A module at the bottom of your screen if you haven't yet. We have quite a number to go through, but we will absolutely take as many as we possibly can in the time allotted. So let's begin here. Okay. So Nancy, would you recommend a few devices or products that can assist in practicing yoga for someone who has back pain?
You would always want to use the props under the instruction of a teacher who is experienced and trained in your condition. But I'm going to show you one thing that I absolutely love that I have in every room of my house, which is a bolster. These bolsters are a little bit pricey. They can be recreated with rolled up blankets or something, but if you can, like, ask for it for your birthday or something. These bolsters are wonderful to be able to support you in various positions. Again, I would want you to be sure that you're moving into a safe position or that you're going to use this in a safe way. But just as simple as using it to support your, like for instance, if you're going to do a forward bend, sitting on your couch in your house, you could put this bolster in front of you and rest your head on the bolster, and it will allow you to relax your back. Forward bends are always so good, but it allows you to rest your head there and to relax your back as you, if it's okay for you to just do deep breaths. It can also be used as a prop, like when we were talking about bed yoga. You could put this on the side so you could rest your knees on this, which is helpful for the back, and move it around to either side. It can also, and if you look at restorative yoga online, you'll see lots of positions using the bolsters for forward bends and backward bends. Again, please don't try it without knowing that it's going to be safe for you.
Thank
so
you,
that's
Nancy.
one thing. Another thing is a block. I don't have one with me right now, but you can get them like at Target or Bed Bath and Beyond, and they're just little, very lightweight yoga blocks, relatively inexpensive, like $10, $15, that can support you in your seated position, and you can put it behind your shoulders. That'll be another webinar. Props.
Thank you so much. The next question is, staying still to relax brings on more pain. What else can be done, if anything?
If it's possible, you would put yourself into a position that is not painful when you're still. So that takes some exploration and use of the props and support. However, if when you are still, you are feeling the pain, then sometimes just that squeezing and releasing in the body, for instance, let's say the pain is in your feet. So moving the toes a little bit, as long as that doesn't aggravate the pain, and then gently squeezing the toes, exhaling, inhaling, opening them up, exhaling, releasing them, inhaling, opening them up. Sometimes that can help. I'm so sorry that the stillness brings you pain.
Thank you. Next question is, do you have any suggestions for connecting with your relaxed, centered mind when you're out and about, maybe at work or with other people? And that kind of ties in really well with another question, which is, how, when you're feeling overwhelmed and don't have the time for self-care, what are some things we can do?
All right. So I tried to include some of those in our presentation today. For instance, the practice of gratitude, which is just you choosing at that moment to take a breath in to each of your 3 sources of gratitude. That's one excellent practice. And they're actually studying this and doing research on it and finding that people who do have a practice of gratitude benefit from it. Another thing is that the breath of joy, where I think the key is that you have that compassion for yourself. You realize things are nuts all around you, or you're really having a lot of difficulty, and you choose to do something that will bring you some support and have compassion for yourself. So it's that choice that allows us to bring our focus to the breath, as long as that's comfortable for you, and then to choose a practice, whether it's loving kindness, which we did today, or the gratitude, or the breath of joy, or some mindful, compassionate practice that allows you to be as present as possible in this moment, even though it's a moment of pain, because that breath can help you de-stress a little bit. And so de-stressing is one of the steps toward bringing ourselves a little more peace. I hope that helps.
I have a lot of anxiety at night about whether I'll be able to sleep through the pain. what are some practices, either physical or mental, that can help relieve this nighttime anxiety? And combining that with another question is, the pain is worse in the middle of the night. Should they get up and do yoga?
What I'm recommending, first of all, can you repeat the first question, Eileen?
Sure. I have a lot of anxiety about trying to sleep through the night because I have a lot of pain. What can I do, whether physical or mental, to combat that nighttime anxiety?
Right. If it's possible, if you have access to YouTube or Google, or it's nice to just search ocean sounds or healing music or meditation for sleep, and try listening to some of those things, because they kind of take your mind out of the anxiety mode and allow you to focus on something that can be a little bit more soothing. And as far as the second question, that's just one idea. You want to think in terms of those difficulties at night as being opportunities for meditation, for relaxation, for nurturing yourself, instead of laying there worried and getting more stressed. So doing the deep relaxation, linking, calling up my deep relaxation and listening to it. But the idea is that you want to really kind of try to do the yoga in bed. If you want to get up and do yoga, more power to you. I live with chronic pain, and I have found, first of all, I allow myself a good 10 hours to get 8 hours of sleep, but I have that ability that time to do that. So that when I wake up, and other people do this also, you have time to just maybe do a little bit of a pillow twist, or some stretching, or some meditating, or some deep relaxation, or guided visualizations in bed, and using that time to nurture yourself and to support yourself, instead of being worried about and making it worse by getting more and more anxious. So the nighttime is a great time for yoga. If you can get up and do it, there are definite poses that are relaxing that you can, learn about. But you can also stay in bed and do it.
I want to say that we are unfortunately running out of time. So I want to thank you, Nancy, for this wonderful presentation. And I want to thank all of you for spending the last hour with us. We hope you found it calming, healing, and informative.